So I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you are somebody who is all about that soft life, you prioritize your own self care, you prioritize your sleep, and if you don't associate your worth and your self value with, working yourself to the bone or depriving yourself of sleep and pushing yourself past your limit, if you're healed already, okay, you're somebody who is kind to yourself, you are in tune with your own needs and your limits and your own boundaries, and you respect your own boundaries, you respect yourself by enforcing your boundaries when you come in contact with people or situations that try them. Whenever you find yourself face to face in conversation with somebody who is not healed, and they say some stuff like, they can't stop talking about how they're so swamped and they only got 4 hours of sleep last night, and oh my god, they're so busy, they have to do like 20, 50 million things and take care of their two dogs and a cat and their 3-year-old and also their husband, who for some reason, even though he's a grown adult, she has to take care of him and do his laundry and etc., etc. If you come in contact with somebody like that, do yourself a favor and just go along with it, okay? Especially if they ask you outright, like, oh, so how are you doing lately? Let's say that you guys are catching up after a weekend or something. Could be anybody, your coworker, an acquaintance, a friend. Although if you have friends like this, I would suggest that you, again, just keep them at arm's length. But yeah, if they ask you outright after, updating you on how sleep deprived and how overworked and everything that they are, just go along with it. You don't have to outright lie to them, but if you're the type of person who, again, you live a soft life, you're very deliberate about that, you make sure that you get 8+ hours of sleep every night. Hell, sometimes you might sleep 11 hours, 12 hours, however much your heart desires, okay? However much you need for your beauty sleep. If you spoil yourself with shopping sprees and gourmet meals every day like you deserve, of course, but then, this person is telling you how much they're sacrificing their own interests and wants and desires in the interest of to take care of their household or their man or whatever, just go along with it in the conversation, okay? Because what they're doing is they are trying to virtue signal. Is that the right term? Or yeah, they're trying to humble brag. That's the term I was looking for. They're trying to humble brag through like complaining about how difficult their life is and how exhausted they are, because they are still operating under the programming that they have to suffer and they have to show outwardly that they're suffering, in order to gain approval and acceptance and be upheld in society, right? But if you don't subscribe to that, you're already healed and you've undone all that BS good girl programming. Trust me when I say, for your own protection, just go along with it if you find yourself one-on-one in conversation with one of these types, because I don't care how much of a nice person they may seem or how much you think that, oh, she's accepting and understanding of different lifestyles and people's different personalities. Like, she would never judge me or think less of me because I'm not doing the most like her and overexerting myself just to prove my worth in this world. I mean, doing the most in a bad way, not in the good way. Trust me, whether subconsciously or not, that person is likely building a resentment or a contempt for you, whether they are conscious of it or not. If they are that critical on themselves and they are so willing to be a doormat for everyone else in their lives, for their job, if they're not willing to put themselves first, on some level, subconsciously, they are not going to be very happy with you when they see that you are doing the opposite. You understand what I'm saying? That's the twisted standard that they hold for themselves. So you best believe that they are holding it for you and every other person that they come in contact with as well. That's their barometer for whether you're a good or a worthy person or not. If they are not at least actively working on undoing the good girl programming in them, if they're not at that place where they're ready to become the villain in society yet, then just don't give them any ammo. Just don't give any reason for them to build contempt for you subconsciously. Chances are they're gonna feel some type of way about you somewhere down the line, and they're gonna convince themselves that you're the one that is the problem. Who does she think she is, you know? They could possibly do something dangerous to you out of feeling some type of way towards you. And don't let it be somebody that controls your paycheck or something like a manager. Okay? Don't let your manager or anyone that is quote unquote above you in any social hierarchy that you happen to be in, so usually work or even friend groups sometimes. This is why I don't even hang out in huge groups of girls anymore, because of the hierarchy thing and the queen bee mean girl stuff that goes on. But yeah, don't let those people know about your real self and beliefs in soft life or whatever. If they're struggling, if anybody above you in the pecking order is struggling, then you are struggling just a little bit more than them. Okay? And you know, okay, if you let it slip a little bit that you're over here enjoying the soft life, your life is kind of like a complete 180 from their life of misery and stress and struggle, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna come attack you or actually try to cause you bodily harm or anything like that. At the most, in those types of situations, they would probably just, again, like I said, build silent resentment and contempt towards you. But you're sowing the seeds, though, if you reveal the truth to this type of person. So do you really want to take that chance, you know? Because people be crazy out here, okay? Especially the ones that are the harshest on themselves, the ones that are most unforgiving for themselves. What makes you think that they're going to be harsh towards themselves but then forgiving towards everyone else? No. Even if they act like that outwardly, even if they swear up and down that, oh no, it's fine, I love that for you, oh my goodness, yeah, I see all your posts, living the good life over there on your yachts and whatnot, I'm just living vicariously through your posts, girl, don't mind me. You need to be careful, because like envy is a real thing, and it's driven people to crazy lengths before in the past. So there's no telling that this person won't at some point in the future decide to take it into their hands to punish you or humble you in some way, right? And you just don't want to invite any of that energy into your life if possible. So the best way to go about it is to either gray rock this type of person when they're telling you all the woes about their life, or just agree with them and go along with it. Like, same girl, same, oh my god, yes, I understand the struggle. We're in this together. And then just leave it at that. Just one last point. So I'm aware that there are people in this world that are just naturally very driven and overachievers, and it's not necessarily a function of good girl programming or anything toxic. Like, they naturally are just very grounded in their purpose and motivated to do as much as possible. I'm not talking about those people. Those people, typically, if they are really just genuinely like walking in their purpose and they genuinely just have that in them to where they want to produce a lot, you will typically never hear complaints out of the mouths of those types of people, because to them it's not anything to complain about. That's just how hard they work. That's how they are wired naturally. So to them, they are just being themselves, right? I'm talking about the people that are constantly like, again, humble bragging and using the fact that they struggled or that they don't get enough sleep. They're using their suffering as a way to say, like, pick me, validate me. Those are the kinds of people that you need to watch out for and protect yourself, okay? Because you just don't know the lengths that vindictive, jealous bitches will go to these days to try to ruin your life if they think that you're doing better than them in any way. When in fact, it's like, no, bitch, I've been through struggle too. It's just that I choose not to dwell on it all the time, and I choose to not look like what I've been through. Okay? Mind your business.